Today we are going to start our chapter number 2, that is late 18th century India and the struggle for the power. In this chapter we are going to study the political situation of India after the fall of Mughal Empire in the later half of 18th century. In 11th standard we studied that the last powerful Mughal Empire king was Aurangzeb, and so after the death of the Aurangzeb in 1707 AD, it headed towards the downfall. So the Mughal Empire was falling, and this downfall gained momentum after the powerful invasion of Nadir Shah in 1739 AD. Also, there was a struggle going on between his three sons, and at last Bahadur Shah became the king. Okay, he gained the throne. So, against the policy of Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah treated the Hindus as equal. Also, he established a cordial relationship with Rajputs. But because of his disorganized policies, his relationship with the kings like Raja Jai Singh, Ajit Singh, and Maratha chieftains got soured. Okay? But the Bahadur Shah also maintained a cordial relationship with the Sikh leader, that is Sikh Guru Govind Singh. Okay, but after his death, the new leader Banda Bahadur revolted against the Bahadur Shah, and he captured the entire area between the river Satluj and Yamuna. So Banda Bahadur revolted and he took over the entire region between the Satluj and the Yamuna. Also, the Bahadur Shah maintained friendly relationships with Bundela ruler Chhatrasal. Okay. Moving on to the next. The administration of Bahadur Shah was deteriorating. It was going day by day, it was deteriorating. And after his death in 1712, the Mughal Empire was once again in abyss. But in the succession battle, Jahandar Shah emerged victorious and he gained the throne. So after Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah came, and after Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah came. But there was some conspiracy against him, and the Farooq Shiar gained the throne. Okay? So after the conspiracy, the Farooq Shiar gained the throne in 1713 AD. And after Farooq Shiar, Muhammad Shah became the emperor for the long period of time, that is from 1719 to 1748 AD. But Muhammad Shah was a weak ruler who could not maintain his controls over Maratha, Awadh, Bengal and Punjab. So he lost the controls from the Maratha, Awadh, Bengal and Punjab. And after him in 1759 AD, Shah Alam II got the throne. He was a courageous Shah Alam II. He was a courageous ruler and also was an able ruler. He managed well. But because of the downfall and the disorganized policies, he was not able to deliver to the mark, and the capacity to deliver the Mughal Empire from his continuous decline could not be benefited. Okay, and also in 1757 and 1764, Britishers won a major victory in Bengal, and after capturing the Bengal, they were moving towards Delhi, right? We studied in the last chapter that the British East India Company settled their rule as a ruler of India in 1757 AD. We are going to study this whole event in the further chapter, but we should know that because of the Britishers also, the Mughal Empire got into abyss, and after 1757 after capturing the Bengal, they were heading towards the Delhi, and in 1803 AD they finally captured the Delhi. And why Britishers were able to do so? Because Britain at that time has already established itself as a political superpower. So they were equipped with a powerful army and they had the powerful astute officers. And so the British East India Company decided to establish their political power in India so they can facilitate the maximum economic exploitation of India. And why they were so capable of taking easily into control Indian states? Because the states were disintegrated, it was engaged in infightings, and they were powerless. So because of these situations, Mahatma Gandhi has also noted that England did not conquer India, but Indians offered it to England on the golden platter, which means इंग्लैंड ने इंडिया को कॉन्क्वर नहीं किया, लेकिन जो इंडियंस थे उन्होंने ही अपने इंडिया को सोने की थाली में परोस के इंग्लैंड को दे दिया. ओके, मूविंग ऑन फर्दर, वी हैव the power struggle of different states and their relationships, right? So the first one is Hyderabad and Karnataka. Hyderabad state was established by Asaf Jahan in 1724 AD, and he was also known as Nizamul Mulk. Okay, so after the death of Aurangzeb, he moved towards the south and established Hyderabad. Then Andar Khan decided to be independent from the Mughal rule. He did not want to continue with the Mughal rule, and following the Mughal system, he started organizing administrative system in Deccan. So let's understand where is Deccan. So this is the map of India. So this region, just a minute, this whole region comes under the Deccan. Okay. So the Andar Khan decided to be independent from the Mughal Empire, and he started his administrative system in the Deccan. All right. Sorry. Okay. And he was assisted by his Prime Minister Puran Chand in establishing revenue collection system in the Deccan. And there was a widespread confusion in this state after his death. So after the death of Andar Khan, there was a confusion in the whole state. And then Nawab Sadatullah Khan of Karnataka chose his nephew Dost Ali as his heir. That is, after this Sadatullah Khan of Karnataka, the Dost Ali became the heir. And after 1740, both the states were engaged in struggle against each other. And that means between Hyderabad and Karnataka, there was a feud going on, and so the states were in despair. And so it paved the way for the European companies to intervene in the Indian political scene. And because of this feud of Hyderabad and Karnataka, that is the Andar Khan and the Sadatullah Khan or the Dost Ali Khan, there was a feud between them, and because of this fighting and feud, Europeans were easily able to capture those areas. Okay. Then comes the Bengal. Bengal Subedar was Murshid Quli Khan, and he decided to make his independent rule in 1719. In which year? In 1719. So Murshid Quli Khan decided to establish an independent rule in 1719, and also to do so, he vanquished the rebellions of Bengali zamindars. So who were revolting against the Murshid Quli Khan, he suppressed them. And after his death, his son-in-law Sujauddin became the ruler in 1739 AD. So after Murshid Quli Khan came his son-in-law, that is Sujauddin Khan, and he was succeeded by his son Sarfaraz Khan. Means after Murshid Quli Khan, Sujauddin Khan, and after him came Sarfaraz Khan, who was defeated within a year by Alivardi Khan, and who became the Nawab of Bengal in 1740. Okay, but during the rule of these three rulers, law and order prevailed in Bengal, and they managed their empire so well that the business and commerce developed, and their also new land revenue system was important work. Okay, they also gave equal opportunities to both Hindus and Muslims, and also they developed their marine transportation to securing their foreign business. But they denied the permission to the British and the French East India Company for the fortification of their factories in Calcutta and Chandranagar. And the Nawabs of Bengal did not display wisdom of having a powerful army. So the main drawback of the Nawab of Bengal was they did not believe in having a powerful army. And as a result, their successor, that is Sirajud-Dowla, lost in the battle against the East India Company in 1757, and that battle is known as Battle of Plassey. So in 1757, after the Battle of Plassey, the British East India Company settled as the ruler, and they became from trading company to ruling company. Okay. Then we have Awadh. So the Subedar of Awadh, Shadat Khan, established independent state of Awadh. He was intelligent and powerful ruler, and he also placed a new revenue system, but he adopted the policy of equal treatment towards Hindu and Muslims. Okay, and after the death, Safdar Jung took the administration of both Allahabad and Awadh in his hands. So after Shadat Khan came Safdar Khan, who took Allahabad and Awadh both in its hand. But he fought an important war against Bengal's Nawabs in 1750 and 51 AD. And like Shadat Khan, he also put in proper policies for administration. So both Shadat Khan and after him the successor Safdar Ganj both maintained proper policies of administration. And Safdar Ganj also developed the Lucknow and Awadh. He also developed the literature, art as well as handicrafts, and because of his favor they registered a substantial growth during that time. But Awadh was defeated by East India Company in the Battle of Buxar in 1764 AD. Okay, let's understand this three empire on the old map of India. So as you can see, we have the Hyderabad marked in yellow in the circle as Hyderabad. Okay, then we have this Bengal. So this region is Bengal, and this region was known as Eastern Bengal. Okay, and somewhat over here we had Awadh. All right, so Hyderabad was here, Bengal and Awadh. All right.